Very good evening, friends. This is Rahul Magan here is a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. Video shot 24th December 2020. We have made several changes in our YouTube videos, and one important change which we recently made is that more than 90% of the links are available with YouTube video. But as YouTube is giving us 5,000 plus words of limit, so there is a PDF link which is given at the top. If you click on this PDF, then you would be able to reach to the more links. But free links of YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, fixed income platform, trainings, video trainings, everything is given in the description box. Still, if you have any questions about our video trainings, stock valuation desk, foreign exchange desk, mark to market academy, or anything, Sheetal Academy, do welcome us. WhatsApp 9818485155. 9818485155. We all understand that across the globe, the world is facing a lot of issues as far as the quantitative easing is concerned. And unfortunately, as we speak, on the eve of Christmas, UK confirmed two more strains of coronavirus. The world not yet resolved coronavirus, two more strains came. So the one strain which UK said in around 40 plus countries of the globe, banned inbound and outbound flights of UK. And now UK government is saying that there is another strain we have covering coronavirus, and this is more faster in terms of spread than the earlier strain. It means that even though I'm not a medical professional, but I understand that in simplistic language that virus is mutating and at a faster pace. Few days ago, I was having a word with the doctor, my very good friend, and he was telling me that Rahul, in some cases, virus mutations also happen because of geographical equations. Because I'm not a medical professional, so I always gather a lot of knowledge, like the way I spread the finance knowledge. He said, in the first strain, the mutation might be as per the geographical evidence of UK, while in the another strain, which UK is claiming that it's because the two people came back from South Africa. Maybe it's because of the South African geographical issues or geographical, the location. So he was saying that geography sometimes plays an important role in terms of virus mutations. But having said that, it is too early to say that whether geography is playing important role or not. So I asked him a very simplistic question, because I'm not a medical professional. So I asked him, what would maybe few months from now we have multiple mutations, like Indian geographical equation is separate, African geographical equation is separate, US geographical equation is separate, Singapore is separate, Malaysia is separate, all are separate. But what if you have different mutations as per different geographical equations? He was silent because, of course, I understand everything cannot be in his hands, and he is a doctor, he is not a god, so I understand him. But that really led a big question in my mind, that is geographical playing a very important role? But I'm not a medical professional. I tried searching this on Google, but somehow I failed. We all understand that once the coronavirus equations happen, then globally the top governments spend like anything, including US, Europe, and multiple governments, including India also. But the impact of that huge spending has not yet seen at the bottom end of the economy. The jobs are not coming, rather they are contracting. Government fiscal stimulus demand is more. Just like UK, there is another news which came from US that there are still issues with the stimulus program. My question from a finance angle is that, are governments in a position to handle these fiscal stimulus unfortunately, if these two strains which we got in UK turned out to be a true fact, we really do. I don't think so, because even it is US government or it is Europe government or any government, they are really in a position to handle this situation, because they are already having a ballooning balance sheet, and more importantly, forget the ballooning balance sheet, they are having huge central bank liabilities. You know, I would say the contingent liabilities, no one knows, no one in the whole globe knows the amount of the contingent liabilities. I really don't think that any country is in a situation to handle this now. But still, the world lives on hope, and we need to hope that. Fiscal situation in India is also very tight. We know that. And fiscal deficit is also really very, very tight. Considering this, we got one news, and what is that news is, from fiscal year 22 till fiscal year 27, Indian state governments need to pay around 15.9 trillion, around 16 trillion amount of bonds. 16 trillion means 16 lakh crores. 16 lakh crores worth of bonds to be redeemed. And this data is by RBI. Fiscal year 22 is around 1.87 trillion. 23 is around 2.0309 trillion. Fiscal year 24 is 2.56. Fiscal year 25 is around 2.77. Fiscal year 26 is around 3.25. Fiscal year 26, 3.25. Fiscal year 27 is around 3.36. And I collated all, and the total is 15.9, which is precisely 16. Simplistically speaking, that fiscal year 22 till fiscal year 27, which is period of around 5 years, the redemption is double, 1.8 to 3.36. More or less it is doubled. And that really raises a lot of questions for me. One thing which I do not got in this data is how many state governments. I do not have this data, so I am not in a situation to comment. We all understand that the oil prices in India is on fire, while the Brent is around 50. Taxes is an issue. Job cuts is an issue. There are hardly few corporates, those who are thriving, and rest all are struggling. That's a separate thing, that our markets goes in a different world and they are going up, 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 but they even do not know that it's a ticking time bomb. If UK two strains, whatever the information which is coming in the public domain turns out to be a true fact, then no one understands the mess which is on the cards. But for many people, life starts with Nifty and ends with Nifty. One thing which we really need to understand, that if such kind of redemptions we have in another 5 to 6 years, this will simply push the central as well as state governments to the debt trap. We should not forget that GST, basically the difference in the GST, the revenue sharing, the central government is supposed to borrow. Central government already sitting at 12 trillion worth of borrowing program this year. And few studies suggest that they're going to be continue with this borrowing program in 21, because expecting a broad-based recovery is really very, very, very difficult. This would definitely have negative repercussion on Indian rupee. This would have repercussion on the stock markets. This would have a huge pressure on the government for disinvestment, because this $1.16 trillion which the states needs to pay, I'm sure many states would be going to center and saying that, hey guys, can you lend me the money? And center is in a situation where in one side they have C and one side they have the devil. If they do not fund this, situation is worst. If they fund this, from where they get the money? So disinvestment will definitely be on the radar. Disinvestment is known as non-tax collections, because basically it's a non-debt capital receipts. Basically it is not a debt. Now, government is very serious. Like nowadays, the news are coming about Shipping Corporation of India, the BPCL, the public sector banks and all. But of course, finalizations require some time. You need bidders, right? It is not easy in the current market. The bidders are not available. But this is just a tentative report, right? And we really need to understand this 16 trillion needs to add up. This is the redemption which they need to make, by the way. One thing which is not there, how much interest payment they have to make on the outstanding debt. We don't have that data, so no comment, but I hope that the debt is definitely not a small amount. The difference of the GST and many more issues. So there are fiscal concerns for India, and India need to resolve that fiscal concerns as early as possible. And the best way to handle is definitely reducing the cost, and more importantly, the disinvestment targets. But meeting the disinvestment targets is definitely always not easy. I hope you understand. This is Rahul from Treasury Consulting. You know our WhatsApp 9818485155. Have a great time. Talk soon.